All right, this is Mr. Renfro. I'm going to do a short instructional video on comparing and ordering fractions, decimals, and percents. When we compare two things, we're trying to see which one is larger, smaller, or if they have the same value, if they're equal. So we're going to compare fractions first. In these fractions, sometimes it's hard to look at a fraction and say, well, this fraction is bigger than this other fraction. Just because the denominator is larger doesn't mean the fraction is larger. Okay, just because that's a 12 and that's 2 doesn't mean that the 12 is larger. So what we do is when we have two fractions and we're comparing them, we like to cross multiply, starting at the bottom number and multiplying across. So 12 times 1, we put the answer above the 1, is 12. Okay, then we cross multiply the other way. And we look at the 2, we cross multiply this way, we say 2 times 5 is 10. Now, with those two answers on top, we can see that 12 is larger than 10, so 10 is less than 12, or 5/12 is less than 1/2. Same thing here. 5 times 1 is 5. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 is larger than 5, or 3/5 is larger than 1/2. Okay? 2 times 8 is 16 in this fraction. And then 16 times 1 is 16. So these two fractions, 1/2 and 8/16, are equivalent or equal. Now, let's try this one. 11 times 1 is 11. And 2 times 5 is 10. And 10 is less than 11. So 5/11 is less than 1/2. That's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, easy to tell. Remember that smaller numbers always are pointed at, meaning pointed in this direction. Okay? And bigger numbers always get eaten. We always like to put the teeth on there to show that it's getting eaten, the bigger number. All right. How about decimals? How can we tell when they're larger or smaller? Well, the easiest way is just to make them all the same length. We have a ones place and a ones place and a tens place and a tens place. But I don't have a hundredths and thousandths place here to match this number. So we're going to fill in zeros. Now it's a lot easier to tell which one's larger and which one's smaller. So 2 and 725 thousandths is smaller than 2 and 800 thousandths. Same thing for this one. We'll make them the same size. This has the hundredths, this one doesn't. So we're going to fill in a missing 0. So this one is larger than 4 and 80 hundredths. 4 and 81 hundredths is larger than 4 and 80 hundredths. Same thing for this one. Filling in the missing thousandth. We have a thousandth here and we don't here. So we're filling the missing 0. And these are the exact same, so they have to be equal. Okay. Same thing for here. Fill in the missing zeros that are over here. These numbers are over here. Now they're the same size. 700 thousandths is bigger than 190 thousandths. And then the last one, we'll fill in 0 here, 2 zeros here. Now they're the same size. 16 is bigger than 1. Okay, so that's how we compare decimals. We make them the same size, guys. We just fill in the missing zeros and fill in the missing numbers with zeros and make them the same length. And then it's very easy to tell which one is bigger and which one is smaller. All right, percentages, same thing. Just fill in missing numbers with zeros. Okay, so we got 35.0. Make it the same length as this one. 35.5 is bigger than 35.0. All right, same thing here. Fill in the missing 0. 56.12 is smaller than 56.20. 7.20 is larger than 6.36%. 56% is bigger than 5%. So that's fairly simple. Just make them the same size. We missed that ratio too. All right, let's move on here. Okay. Now, what if we have all three? Mr. Renfro, we got a decimal, a fraction, and a percent. Well, we're going to turn them all into percents. Well, I don't have to do anything to this one because it's already a percent. This one is easy to turn into a percent because we'll do decimal to percent. How we turn a decimal into a percent? We move the decimal 2 places to the right. Now the decimal is in between the 2 and the 7. So my percentage is 12.7%. All right. Well, how do you make a fraction into a percentage? First, you have to make it into a decimal by doing division. When we divide this, 8 goes outside, 1 goes inside. We add 3 zeros to make it a decimal. Remember, the decimal goes straight up in our answer. So how many 8s are in 1? 0. Subtract, 1 left over. 1 is less than 8, so bring down our next number. How many 8s are in 10? 1, which is 8. Subtract, 2 left over. 2 is less than 8. Bring down our next 0. How many 8s are 20? Which is 2, which is 16. Subtract 4 left, 4 is less than 8. Bring down your last 0. How many 8s are in 40? There's 5, which is 40. And it comes out of. Okay, so the decimal is 0.125 or 125 thousandths. We have to move that 2 places to the right, and that's 12.5%. Okay, so now we can tell which one is the smallest or the least. That would be 1/8 is the smallest. Okay, then next would be 127 thousandths. And then the largest is 28%. So when we're putting those in order, 1/8 will be first, 0.127 will be second, and 28% will be the largest. We had to turn them all into percents. That's how it becomes easier. Okay, same thing here. Let's turn these into percents from least to greatest. So this one, 2 places to the right, doing D2P. Decimal 2%. It's now 24.1%. Okay, 1/2. Half of anything is always 0.5. Now you can divide that. And we can prove that. Okay. But I just wanted to say that anytime you have 1/2, it's 0.5. Okay, so 0.5. Now move that 2 places to the right, then we're missing 0. That's 50%. Right? This is already a percent. So 1/3 is a repeating decimal. It's always 0.3 repeating. But to write it out, we will go 3 places, 0.333, and then move the decimal 2 places to the right, and that would be 33.3%. Now we could divide this. We could divide this just like we did 1/2. 3 can go outside, 1 can go inside. 3 zeros is the max we do. 3 are in 1, 0. 1 left over. 1's less than 3, bring down to 0. How many 3s are 10? 3, which is 9. And we'll keep getting 1 for a remainder and keep dropping the zeros. How many 3s are in 10? 3, which is 9. And we'll keep getting the same answer over and over again for this. Okay, but 3. Anyway, 0.333 is your decimal equivalent, which is a percentage is 33.3%. So which one is first? Well, 24%, 24.1 is first, then 25 is second, and 1/3 is the third, and 1/2 is the largest of these. So if I had to put those in order, it would be 0.241 would be first, then 25%, then 1/3, and the last one would be 1/2. That would be in the correct order from least to greatest. Okay, so what do these words ascending and descending mean? Ascending means to go up, to go from a lower number to a higher number. Descending means to go down from a higher number to a lower number. So let's go to this one and see. Well, if it says to go in descending order, I got to put largest or larger numbers to smaller numbers. Descending. So I'm looking for the biggest number. So this is already a percent. This one is not. So I'm going to change it using D2P. So this will be 42.3%. Now, 5/9 is a repeating decimal. And we know that because when we divide, we're going to keep getting 0.555. We'll just keep getting 0.555. So we got. Okay, so that's 0.555 or 5 repeating. It can also be a decimal indicated like this. Moving 2 places to the right, D2P, 55.5%. So which of these is the largest? 55%, 42%, or 45%? So this is first. 5/9 is first. Then 45 and 2% is second. And then the decimal, 123 thousandths, is the smallest number. Okay, that's the smallest number. This is largest, this is next largest, and this one is smallest. Okay, and if you were writing that down, you'd write 5/9 first, 45.2% second, and 0.423 or 423 thousandths is the smallest. So largest to smallest. Okay, that's descending order. All right, let's go back to ascending order. Ascending means to go up. Remember, this is a repeating decimal. 0.333. Third is 2 places to the right. It's 33.3%. 2/8. That's a fraction that can be reduced to 1/4. 1/4 as a decimal is 0.25. Which moving 2 places to the right is 25%. And then 3/7, if you don't know what that is, you have to divide. 0 down, 7 into 30, goes 4 times, which is 28. Let's lift over, 0 down, and that goes 2 times into 20, which is 14. 6 left over. Last row, that's 8, which is 56. All right, so 0.428 is our decimal equivalent. 2 places to the right, that's 42.8%. So if this is ascending, that means to go up. So I need the smallest number first. So 2/8 would be first, and then 1/3 would be second, and 3/7 would be last. So I wrote that down to be 2/8 first, 1/3 second, and 3/7 last. So I hope you understand that when we have all three, we want to turn them into percentages, and then we can tell which, when they're the same, we can tell which one is larger and which one's smaller. Hope this has been helpful. Please watch over again if you need to.